YouTube, what is going on? So look, Upper Echelon Capital. Today I just want to talk about high limit primary trade lines. So look, a high limit primary trade line is basically an account that you will add to your credit report if you are trying to, boost your credit score and you're about to apply for a loan or a credit card or you just want your credit to be a strong credit profile. Okay. So these are accounts that you will add to create a strong credit profile. I'm going to tell you the best ones in 2026. All right. You don't need that many, credit builders to be added to your account if you know you're trying to get approved for a credit card or auto loan. Reason being is that you don't want to be adding too many new accounts to your credit report in a short amount of time. Right. So this is what you're going to do. All right. So top primary trade lines 2026. So let's just go over what a primary trade line is. Primary trade line is any account that is on your credit report that is yours. So it is just your account. So let's say, for example, you have a credit card and that credit card is reporting to your credit report. Because it is your credit card, that credit card will be considered a primary trade line on your credit report. Generally speaking, if you would like to, if you're going from having no credit, right, to wanting to, get approved for things with a decent rate and get a good deal, right, you have to become what's called a prime customer. In order to go from no credit to becoming a prime customer, which is having a 700 plus credit score, 700 plus FICO, all right, if you're in the United States. If it's 720 to 750, even better. But generally 700 is what sets the standard. Okay. So what you want to do is if I'm going from no credit, once again, let's say I'm just finished doing my credit repair, I deleted all my negative accounts. I've wiped my entire credit history, right? Because I know a lot of you guys that are going to be on this video are people who have gone through credit repair or have just finished the credit repair process. And you're probably worried about, or let's just say concerned about the correct way to boost your credit. What's next? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to add three primary trade lines to our credit report today. Okay. So the first one is Stellarify, right? Stellarify, this can give you up to 25,000. It will report up to a $25,000 credit line to your credit report. Okay. And let me just go here. So this is created for people who want to build credit without the high fees and low limits you get everywhere else. So this credit building card, I want to tell you the difference between something like this and a secure credit card. Okay. A secure credit card, let's say you go to Capital One, all right, or whatever bank, right? And you get a secure credit card. When you get a secure credit card, you're going to open the account using the money that you already have. So the money that you have that you put on this card, you have to fund the secured credit card. Okay. So basically, right, versus getting a regular credit card, all right, it's two different things. Okay. So with the secure credit card, right, you would essentially, this product is not a secure credit card, but I'm just saying a secure credit card, you're going to use the money you have to put on the credit card, and that amount is going to become your credit limit. All right. A program like this is totally different. Okay. So when you sign up for Stellarify, this is going to be just the same as pretty much Kickoff and arguably Rim Reporters, all right? These programs are designed where you pay a small monthly fee and they're just going to report a decent sized line of credit to your credit report, okay, to help you, build your credit, all right, and improve your credit profile, okay? So Stellarify is a great type of account you can add. You add it to your credit report. Now it's in your name. The Stellarify will report as a credit card in your name, right? Or a line of credit. It'll show up either way on the credit report, okay? With this Stellarify credit builder card, right? You're just going to pay a monthly fee to Stellarify. You sign up on the app, right? You're going to pay a monthly fee to them for them to report a high like a primary trade line, right? Which is going to be this credit card to your credit, right? And then after that, you don't really have to use it for shit. I would just simply connect it to my bank account, okay? And it will just simply just go ahead and report every month because you're paying for the subscription of them reporting good things to your credit. Okay, that's essentially what you're paying for them to report good credit and report an account that's in your name to help you build your credit profile. That is what you're paying them for. All right. And Stellarify, I swear it was like anywhere between like 10 and 25 bucks a month. All right. And when I say up to $25,000 credit line, Stellarify is going to have you connect your bank account, right? You're going to connect your bank account, and then it's going to determine a credit limit based off of what's in your bank account. Okay. As far as your banking history and deposits. All right. You're going to connect on Plaid. All right. So it's going to connect directly to your deposit account, and it's going to determine a credit limit, the highest credit limit it can report for you based off of the deposits you are putting in your bank account. Okay. So that's Stellarify. The next one I have is Kickoff. A lot of you guys already know Kickoff. Kickoff, you can go ahead and add it to your credit to go ahead and build your credit file. Okay. None of these accounts, let me just repeat something. None of these accounts that I'm telling you about today are going to improve your credit history. All right. Other than rent reporters, and we're going to talk about that next. But these two right here, these are going to be new accounts that's going to hit your credit. All right. Which is why I only recommended you only add two of them. All right. Even if you only did one, I understand it. But just add two of these type of credit building accounts at max. All right. So the credit building primary trade lines, you want to put two of those on your report. Okay. If you are starting from scratch, all right, and you want to get to like be like a prime lender, you want to get good credit card stuff like that. You want to add two of these to your report. Okay. Like if you're starting from scratch, if you just finished credit repair or whatever, you just want to add two of these to your report. Okay. Two of these high limit primary trade lines. All right. Now, after you add these, okay, Kickoff is just another one. Let me just quickly go over the plan so y'all understand, so y'all see this real quick. You're just paying them to literally report a positive account to your credit as a credit card. That's all it is. All right. Same thing with Stellify. You're paying them a small monthly fee to just report good credit. All right. You need two programs like this. Okay. And then as you guys can see, these are the plans, right? 35 bucks a month. All right. You can get up to three. It's going to be 3,500 guaranteed. If you pay this 35 a month, they're going to report $3,500 credit card or a line of credit. It's going to pop up on your credit report as one of those things, and they're going to report it. Okay, for 20 bucks a month, $2,500. All right. So that is great, and I want to talk to you guys real quick about why I prefer you adding two of these type of accounts, the Kickoff and the Stellarify, versus doing a secure credit card. Okay. So long story short, okay, Stellarify and Kickoff are going to be anywhere between like probably 9 to 25 bucks a month. You see the plans here, right? And for that amount, you're going to get, you're going to get this one is 2,500. Stellarify is probably going to give you a 2,500 or 3,000, even if you don't get that much deposit history, okay, in your bank account. They're still going to approve you for that amount to report to your credit, right? It's going to be way cheaper, all right? It's going to be way cheaper for you than getting a secure credit card. If your credit file is so thin, right? The only thing you can get is a secure credit card, okay? If you wanted a $2,000 revolving credit card to report on a secure credit card, you'd have to put $2,000 in to fund that credit card, okay? Because it's a secure credit card, okay? So you have to fund it, okay? That's why it takes a lot of money for the average person to put up. I believe the average person at this point in the United States, there's a lot of people that don't have $1,000 in their bank account, okay? So I'm trying to make it easy for you to build credit and still save some money in the short and also in the long run. Because the way I'm going to be building your file, you're going to be able to get personal funding products, all right, to help you out. Okay. So that's that. So rent reporters is the third primary trade line. This is the third high limit primary trade line I want to talk about. Okay. I'm not even going to say high limit because it's reporting rent. Okay. It's not reporting like a line of credit or something like that. So, but anyway, it helps you out. Okay. So rent reporters, I like this one because with rent reporters, you can literally do up to 2 years. All right. So you can backdate your rent by up to 2 years. Boom Pay is another great one. Okay. We can do Boom Pay as well. All right. Either or is fine. All right. So you can report your rent and you can report your rent. You can report up to 2 years of on-time rental payments. Okay. So that's what a lot of people mean, like in the credit space when they talk about backdating primary trade lines or backdating accounts is that although when you do sign up for like the rent reporting, program is going to report, it's probably going to take what, like 2 weeks to 4 weeks to report to your credit. Okay. Once it does report, it is going to show if you do this the correct way, if you lease an apartment, talk to your leasing office, if you've been leasing for over 2 years, blase, blase, right? There's plenty of other ways to get it backdated, but that's not for this video. All right. So look, once you do that and you go ahead and go into the Boom Pay or you go into the rent reporters, either one of these is fine. They report your rent to your credit report. Okay. 2 years of on-time payment history is a really good data point to have because like when you're doing like personal funding, if you want to go for credit cards, loans, lines of credit, stuff like that, they're going to look at the fact like how many accounts do you have with at least 6 months or more of on-time payment history. That's like very important. Um, Preferably, a lot of lenders would like to see you have at least four accounts that are in your name with at least 6 months of on-time payment history. If you have two accounts with at least 6 months of on-time payment history, that will work in most cases, especially with smaller and regional banks. Okay. So just to recap this video, okay, guys, we talk about primary trade lines in 2026, high limit ones. This one, Stellarify, you can go ahead and grab this one, right? This one right here, Kickoff, you can go ahead and grab that. All right. And then go ahead and add you a rent reporting trade line. All right. So you're going to have two high limit personal primary trade lines. All right. Stellarify, Kickoff. Okay. Are these credit building accounts? Yes, of course. But just stick with me, okay? That's why you're going to get the rent reporter so you can get that account. All right. Or if you know what you're doing, or if you tap in with somebody like me, I can add three rental trade lines to your credit report at one time. All right. Not a lot of people can do this. So I'd much rather you simply just lock in with me and I'll go ahead and add these to your credit report. It come with us, it obviously is for a fee, but you know what I'm saying? It makes sense for me to do that, right? Because now you're going to have multiple accounts with over 6 months of on-time payment history. Okay. Even though you just started your credit journey as far as getting, boosting your credit, right? I can add three rent reporting trade lines. There's going to be three accounts that I'm going to have at 2 years each, right? So that's going to put you in a good position as well. So you're going to have to weigh options now. So do that. And I think the last thing I'll tell you guys, the last thing I would do, you add the rent reporting trade line 2 years, okay? You tap in with me, I can add three of them that are 2 years each. Then you add the Stellarify and the Kickoff, right? So I think at this point, like if you just finish credit repair and you add these three accounts, there's no way you aren't at least a 670 credit score because your average age of all your accounts is probably going to be shit. And also your credit age is going to be shit as well. Because the only thing you're going to have on your credit report, guys, stay with me here, right? If you just finished credit repair and you're adding, credit building accounts to your credit report, that's all you're going to have on your credit report, okay? So you have the two primary trade lines. You have the boom, which is also a primary trade line, but it's rental, okay? So that's going to give you a little bit of credit age. The way that you're going to really get your credit age where it needs to be before you want to go for personal or business funding, right? Is you are going to want to add an authorized user to your credit report. Okay. There's a lot of things going on about authorized users on the internet. They still work. I think that my thing here is that authorized users still work because in this day and age, I think a lot of banks are getting hip to people adding too many credit building accounts to their credit in too quick a time fashion. So that's why a lot of them are like, well, if you want to get any personal or business products with us, you know, we don't want you to have like more than two new accounts within the past 6 months or past 12 months or past 18 months, right? So that's why we like to authorize user trade lines because you can just get somebody in your family that is like older and has good credit. You got an auntie, you got a grandma, something, right? Or a friend that, really trusts you and would hook you up. You know what I mean? Whatever, right? Somebody that has like a credit card that's been open for a while, they always keep a low balance, and they've been doing it for quite some time, like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that they've had credit, I would definitely have them add me as an authorized user, right? You only need one. You just need one really good one when it comes to authorized user trade lines on your credit report. You just need one really strong one. So let's say, for example, right, I have a grandmom. She's 50 years old. She had a Chase credit card for a long time. She always kept a low balance on it, you know, and yeah, she's been in good standing with them for a while, right? If I get added as an authorized user, let's say she had the card for 30 years. That's 30 years of credit history being added to my credit report. So that file that we built up to a 670, right? Because we added the primaries and we added the rental trade line. Now we are at a 730 to 750 credit score, all right? Because all of that age from the authorized user is going to strengthen your profile dramatically. The average age of all your accounts will go up. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Your average credit age will go up. Okay. So that's the last thing you want to do. You can get authorized user trade lines from here. All right. This website is called Tradeline Genie. You can get it from here. They have a list. You can literally look at the trade lines. You can go into their spreadsheet and you can literally, it's 2026. So you can go ahead and look for shit that's at least like, you know, I would say at this point it's newly 2026, so just 2025 authorized user trade lines. I mean 2015 trade lines, authorized user trade lines from 2015, right? Or older. Okay. And you can scroll this list and you can literally look at the pricing, the age of the trade line. Okay. So you know exactly what you're getting into. I just told you 10 years or older. So go and look for some shit that's 10 years or older. And guess what? I use them. So generally speaking, a 10-year trade line on Trade Line Genie is going to be about 150 bucks. It's going to be you can spend that or you can go to a website that I wouldn't recommend, like Trade Line Supply, right? I think their service is pretty decent, but like their prices are high as hell. If you get a 10-year trade line, brother, it's going to cost you a grip. All right. Let me just show y'all just for example, if I can pull something up without it taking too much time. All right. So let me go all the way down here. Y'all finna see what this talking about, bro. So for a 2015 authorized user trade line, it's gonna be 800 some dollars. All right, so y'all just seen that, okay? Right? But I want y'all to pay attention to the verbiage here. Seasoned, right? So when you get an authorized user trade line and you want to add it to your credit report, okay? You want to make sure it's seasoned. And that means that, this AU account that you're about to add has at least 10 to 15, maybe 20 or years of credit age or better. Okay. So at least 10 years at the bare minimum. That's why I tell y'all go 10 years. All right. So look, guys, I want to just recap what we went over today because I feel like this is the best process probably to build your credit without seeming like you're thirsty for credit or having too many new accounts hit your credit. All right. You want to do it in a responsible way. Okay. Start from the top. We add Stellarify, we add Kickoff. All right. These are going to report some individual accounts to your credit, and they're going to have a decently high limit. All right. As long as you spend in 10, 20 bucks a month with them, they're going to report a trade line with a relatively high limit. You add a rental trade line, it's going to backdate a little bit of your credit history. All right. Good mix of accounts. Okay. So that's another thing too, right? So you have two credit building accounts. You have a rental account, all right, that you're going to backdate 2 years, all right, because you know how to do it or you're going to tap in with me, okay? And then you go here and you go ahead and get an authorized user trade line. So this is what we just did here, all right? So that is how we're going to go from just starting our credit journey, right? Let's just say that we just finished credit repair, all right, or we just never had credit before, to getting to a 750 credit score, right? Add two credit building primary trade lines. Want to add a rental trade line. Okay. Now that's a good mix of accounts. All right. You got three accounts so far. You had an authorized user trade line, also a different type of account. All right. It is not an individual account. It's someone else's account. You've been added as an authorized user to inherit their credit history. All right. But it still counts in your account mix. Okay. So you got regular primary trade lines. You got rental trade lines on your credit. Now you got authorized user trade line on your credit. So you got the account mix. You're going to have the average age of all your accounts be in a good place as well because you added that authorized user, you added a season one because you listened to me. Okay. So you do all of that. This sequence that I'm talking about will just put you in position to get your first high limit personal credit card. Okay. So this entire sequence I talked about. Um, this will also work to help you get business funding as well because your data points will be there. I would just prefer that if you're going to go for business funding, um, and you have this type of profile, like this profile that I just talked about, that we just talked about adding these things to your credit today. The only thing I would add to the mix is go ahead and get you just one high limit personal credit card. At this point, you have a 750 FICO. Just locate the nearest credit union near you and go ahead and get you a $5,000 swipe. You know, you can put on the application, you know, yeah, that your income don't got to be crazy for that. Probably like 70,000, 80,000 a year. If you're making that, you're gonna be fine to get like a $5,000 credit card. Um, so yeah, as far as that, like that's pretty much taking it where you need to go. And then as far as business funding, once again, I'm not going to make this video about that, but if you know you want to achieve that with this profile that we just discussed, you want to go ahead and add one high limit personal credit card. You want to make sure that you're getting approved at least 3 to 5 thousand on that, or if it's more, obviously great on that personal credit card, and that'll put you in a really good position. Okay, so yeah. Outside of that, I appreciate everybody tapping into this video. I got like a lot of more informational stuff that I just want to put out. Starting this year, we want to start 2026, right? I appreciate everybody tapping in. I appreciate all the love I've been getting as well. A lot of people be out here hitting me on my business line. And I appreciate that. I'm definitely looking to help more people. So if you need any help, all right, just go ahead and contact us in the description below, and we'll go ahead and help you out. Any credit situation that you in, we can help you get out of it.